your articulation skills fall down to the level of your habits. The better communication habits we develop, the faster our articulacy develops as well. So what are those habits and what's the easiest way for you to develop them? Now, you might be in a situation where you have tried this before but struggled, probably because there's no proper system in place to do this. So we try it for a bit and then we drop off. Or you might be someone who's not tried this at all. In either case, let's dive in. By the way, if you're new here, hey, my name is Rideep from Frantically Speaking. If you're into communications content, we release that regularly, so hit subscribe. And if you want to take your communications learning to the next level, you can click the link in the description, check out our courses and see if we can work together. We are focused on training a lot of professionals improve their communications. And honestly, a lot of transformations that we've been seeing are not from people who are doing more, but doing less in a smarter way. So let's try to focus on that. Okay, let's get into it. Now, instead of giving you just random habits, I've broken this down into the three most fundamental elements you require to not just learn communications, but almost any soft skill. And that is knowledge, practice, and feedback. We need to learn the right techniques, we need to practice them regularly, and we need the right feedback mechanism to ensure that we're heading in the right direction. So we're going to discuss habits within each of these elements. Let's get into knowledge. Communications is a very wide topic, and there are so many elements to focus on over here that if you're somebody who's trying to learn it, it can get overwhelming. So instead, you want to narrow it down to the specific areas of communication that you might be looking to develop the most. And that might be a lot of things. You might be looking to reduce your filler words. You might be looking to improve the speed of your thinking. You might be looking to improve your fluency, reduce grammatical errors, expand your vocabulary, improve public speaking. But it's not possible for us to learn all of those at once. So we want to ask ourselves what is at priority and just focus on 1 to 3 of those elements. For example, when I was trying to work on my communications, I focused only on public speaking. And within that, I focused on 3 elements: body language, voice modulation, and storytelling. These 3 were able to then translate into other areas of communication, and the snowball effect took it from there. So once you have narrowed it down, there are 3 things that you can do to learn this. The first that I recommend the most is to get into a course. Now, when I say this, it can be misconstrued, so let me break it down a little more. There are a bunch of different courses that you can do. I recommend doing a live training where you have a coach in front of you. By front of you, I mean, it could be virtual as well. And you have them giving you constant feedback. Now, pre-recorded courses in communications can also be good, but you want one that's not massively long. Like, don't purchase one that has 12, 15, 20 hours of content, because again, it's going to be too generic and it'll be just too overwhelming. And another challenge that can be with these courses is that it also requires a monetary investment. So in case you're not looking to get into that, you can try method number 2, which are books. There are many amazing communication books which you can get into. There are 3 that I recommend. If you're looking to develop communications and public speaking, read the book TED Talks by Chris Anderson, who's the founder of TED. Second, if you're looking to develop your conversation skills, read the book Crucial Conversations. And if you're looking to develop your persuasion skills, read the book Never Split the Difference. Keep in mind the learning that you'll have with books is limited, because communications, being a soft skill, is majority of the battle is won through practicing itself. So don't get caught in the loop of reading book after book after book. Just keep that as one of the avenues of you learning. And if you're not a reader, you can move on to the third and final element of gaining knowledge, which is to watch speeches. This is one of the ways that I learned. I used to watch a lot of people whose communications ability I really enjoyed. In fact, there's a guy called Jason Silva who ran a YouTube channel. He didn't do public speeches or anything, but he just would go on these existential rants on any random topic. And I loved his speaking style. So I would in fact imitate it and try to incorporate his style of speaking into my communications. Which gets me to the second part of practicing itself. Similar to swimming, we cannot learn to swim by just reading or watching courses. We have to get into the water. But how exactly do you practice? There are 3 things that you can do over here. The first is the mirror technique, which is what I just described, that I used to look at videos by somebody and try to imitate them in front of a mirror. Few things to keep in mind over here. Some people, when I give them this habit, is that they feel that, hey, you know, what if I'm imitating somebody else? That'll make me sound very inauthentic. I don't want to do that. In that case, you want to keep in mind that if you are somebody who's starting off, there's a chance that your overall communication, whether it's verbal, non-verbal, is very stiff. And we want to first work on opening that up. So stop thinking about the next step of sounding very authentic and everything. It's still going to be your voice itself. But the point of copying somebody else who has a more open style of communication is that it'll make you very uncomfortable to copy them. And that is exactly why we want to do it. If you look at the guy's example I just gave, Jason Silva, he has a very outspoken communication style. If you look at his videos today and you look at mine, of course, I do not speak like that. But copying him helped me to open up my hands. It helped me to open up my voice, my expressions. So take a particular speaker who you like and make sure the speech is not too long. Don't try to copy a speech of about 10 to 15 minutes. Maximum 5 minutes is good enough. Now, I did this for a good amount of time, but if you want to start doing this, just try it once a day for 2 weeks, or if you can for a month, to start seeing how your overall communication is opening up. The second habit to practice is to grab more speaking opportunities. Anytime you're given a chance to speak up, whether it's at work or school or whatever you might be doing right now, you want to try and grab that speaking opportunity. Here's the thing, most people, when they're given a chance to speak up, they tend to shy away from it because it improves the room for error. You'll increase the chances of you screwing up in front of other people, which is exactly why we want to take up this opportunity. The more we take up such opportunities, the more mistakes we'll make in real time, which will allow us to eventually be okay with making mistakes in front of people. And that is one of the most powerful aspects of communication development. But I understand it's also a difficult habit to incorporate. So if it is something that's very difficult for you, you can try the third one, which is to simply record existing conversations that you're having. If you're a remote worker, this is very easy for you. If you have a meeting, just record yourself speaking and hear that recording. If you're not a remote worker, when you're talking to a friend over the phone or you're talking to somebody you know, just with their consent, record the conversation on your phone or on another device. The more you can do this, the more you'll be able to hear yourself in real time as to, okay, this is how I speak when I'm not mindful about my communications. And you will find so many insights that no course will be able to tell you about. In fact, even if you look at my videos, we have hundreds of videos uploaded here, you look at the very first video, and you look at some of the later, more recent stuff that is there, you'll notice a communication difference that is there. That's simply because every video that we put out, we look at it and we try to observe, okay, hey, this is what I did well, this is what I can do better. And that feedback loop became very, very important. And we were only able to create that feedback loop because we were recording the content. So this point overlaps with the next part and the final part, which is feedback. If you don't have a correct feedback mechanism in place, you might be running blind in your communications journey. So there are 3 methods for you to get feedback. The first one we discussed, which is to record yourself so that you can give yourself feedback. The second is to join Toastmasters. If you don't know what that is, it's a non-profit organization. It has a bunch of clubs all over the world. It gives you a platform to practice public speaking. You go there, you can deliver a prepared speech and somebody will come and give you feedback on that speech. The only downside with this is that because it's a non-profit organization, it's run by volunteers. So when you are going to a club, the experience you'll have in a club really depends on the club that you're at. There are some clubs which are run with amazing efficiency, whereas others are just not that great. It also depends on who is evaluating your speech and giving you feedback. If it's a good speaker, amazing. But many times, because everyone is out there to learn itself, the person who might be giving you an evaluation might themselves not be too sure about their own communication skills. So you might either get incomplete or incorrect feedback, which causes more harm than good. So the final and most reliable method of feedback is to get a coach. If you have somebody to tell you what you're doing right and wrong, and that person is qualified or trained within the space of communications, or there's somebody whose communications you just like and you can pay them for it, then that is the easiest way to do it. The only downside to that is the monetary part. But if you're willing to invest in it, then go for it. So focus on these 3, knowledge, practice, and feedback, and your communication skills over time will start to shift dramatically. Finally, if you like this video, I would recommend to check out another video that we've created, which goes deeper into the topic of articulation. You can check out that whole video right here.